Hey, we're back for the Mutiny Mom podcast. Camille, this has been so much fun. Are you having fun with this podcast?
I'm having a blast. Honestly, this is one of the things I'm looking more forward to all the time. I'm like, at first, I'm like, what are we going to talk about? And then when we get here,
we're just like,
yeah, we're just going to talk.
We got so much to talk about. I also think about too, because we're about to take off for like a full day at farms and visits and stuff. It would be really funny. Like you've seen the comedians driving in cars with comedians or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we should have the car version of us. It would not look polished. It'd be funny.
So usually, I mean, it's one way or the other. Sometimes I'll drive, but a lot of times Kirby drives. She's the chauffeur.
Yeah.
And I'm on my computer, like, hammering out stuff and on the phone and then on the phone and then on the phone. And then we get to our destination. I'm like, oh, hey, good morning.
Hey, okay. Camille she tells me I have to babysit her some days. She'll be like, you're driving and you're babysitting me. And I'm like, well, what does that entail? Like snacks and drinks, because I can cover that. But it's all, we laugh, but we babysit each other because that's when we do like our best thinking and all the things. So,
it's so hard. I was just going to add, it's so hard because like, as an agronomist, a lot of times I just put out fires all the time.
Yes.
But in order to move our business forward, like there are things that I need to execute on, making one-pagers because I'm involved with marketing and getting presentations ready. And it's just hard to get everything done when you're putting out fires. So I need a babysitter to make sure I get it done.
Yeah, that's my role here at Mutiny Crop Performance. People are like, we laugh because for those of you that have seen Lion King, which if you have not, God bless you, go watch Lion King. But there's a part where he says, look out, Simba, everything the light touches is your kingdom. And Camille and I are always like, look out, Camille, or look out, Kirby, everything the light touches is in your job description. So we're like, we don't really know our titles. We just know
it's fine.
That what the light touches.
Well, as the company, I mean, we have, 10 employees, if I'm being generous, and we want to keep it that way because every time we hire people and we do things, like, ultimately the farmer pays for that.
That's right.
And so we want to be small on purpose, but on the opposite end of the spectrum, that means we have a lot to do.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
We love it. We love it. Hey, the last time we were with you all, there was a winter storm. Winter storm Fern was on the way. This was the day before. And in our wisdom and just our wisdom, we said, what should we do the day before winter storm? We should come to the podcast studio and spill the tea, talk about the trial data. But I have to ask you, because we're going to continue to spill the tea on this podcast episode. But I have to ask you, Camille, the winter storm, did you do any reading, cooking? Did you develop a new hobby? Were you just in survival mode? Tell all of our followers, all three of them, how we survived Winter Storm Fern. Thank you, moms. Our moms watch us, so thank you.
So I actually had a seed company trip planned.
That's right.
So
yeah.
It was crazy.
Go ahead.
So all of the weather happened, and then the very next morning, we had to leave to go to Indianapolis to get on our flight. So we had to drive like I-69, super slow, icy
Was it crazy?
Condition. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
We got there, and we got on a plane and left the country, and it was like 86 and sunny. I actually got sun poisoning. I'm sorry. But it was really sad because my parents were keeping the kids, and they thought they were going to drop the kids off at school every day and pick them up from after school, and little did they know they had to do NTI all 5 days. Then we get back. And school's out the entire next week until Thursday and Friday. They were
like
on
2 weeks
delays. Yeah, but trying to juggle meetings with kids home doing NTI. Yeah.
I always feel like in the background I should there's like music whenever you call like customer service centers. Mine should be like like, and it's like, hello, you've reached, and that's not just like snow days. It's just in general.
It
like,
is.
Hello, you've reached the circus of Kirby Green. How may I help you?
How did yours go?
So it was great. We made lots of snow cream. It was very, as you say, I think now, so my oldest is 11. I think I'm like, accustomed to that, like that used to feel like, oh my gosh, now I'm just like, let's roll with it, you know? And I'm saying this, it was a little,
but yours are a little older than, you're older too, or older than mine. So your middle is the same age as my oldest.
Yes.
So I'm still a little bit in the thick of it. We've got a kindergartner, but I ended up, I do a lot of tissue sampling and in this role. So
we'll have to put the picture.
We do. I'll put it on here.
Yeah.
But we had
Eric
tissue
can-
sampling boxes, and I set up dividers because they all have questions with their NTI, and then they'd get so frustrated waiting while I'm answering another question because I'd have them in different rooms. So I'm like, nope, it's not going to work. All at the same table. We're going to put up dividers. Everybody can't see each other. The TV is off.
She texted me a picture of this.
And we got it done by like 10 in the morning. So then the rest of the day, they could go on with their whatever they wanted to do. And Mommy was in her office with the door shut working.
Yes. Listen, Mutiny Mom Academy. It's a new thing. We're launching here today.
I might homeschool.
Mutiny Mom Academy. And I did. Cora, you're talking about kindergarten year. That was the COVID year. So like I had 2 essentially like daycare / preschool that was in like from March of 2020 until June of 2020. Everything shut down, was closed. But it's like, as you know, in ag, work goes on. So I was planning
Doesn't stop.
plots, writing planners, sorting plot seed, all the things. And I was like, sit down on a bag of seed and practice your handwriting. And I think back on that and I'm like, I laugh, but also I have much
PTSD.
Just compassion for myself of what I was trying to do as a working mother. And then that next year was kindergarten with my oldest. My middle one was in preschool. Like it went on, continued as normal. But I think of maybe some of you that listen to this podcast, you're like, I have fond memories. Like all of these farmers, I would see them and they're like, because they spent, they laughed because I would do like the teaching early in the morning and then I would have, my oldest along. Some days I had like I created with college students and retired teachers and all this stuff, this system of having them as well. But some days it'd be like, I'm so sorry, I can't be there. And you would roll with it. So I had
a baby during COVID.
Yeah, gosh. Yeah.
And I had 3 kids in 3 years. So I had my 3rd child in July of 2020 and my oldest had just turned 3 and I had a 1-year-old also. And I was an agronomist.
We lived to tell this story.
I can't even think back on it. I don't even know how I survived.
Anyways. But I think about, I'm like, it was crazy. It was bananas. It was stressful. It was sweet. It was like
sweet.
It's that saying of that multiple things can be true at once.
I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can handle hard things.
We can do hard things. And coming to you now, we're going to launch Mutiny Mom Academy. I'm kidding. Maybe not. I
never know what she's going to say.
She never knows. Then she loves it because she's like, she's the technical expert. And so she comes in here and she's like, where's this going? And I'm like, we'll see. No, we want to keep the focus on what we're going to call spilling the tea around our product lineup. So everywhere we go, different farmers will say, hey, tell me about how the product did in the data. And for those of you that followed along last time, we went through liquid litter data. Camille did an amazing job of walking through the tissue data to better represent what it is that liquid litter does and how it shows up. And so today we are so excited because we have a new product that we're launching at Mutiny. And cue the music. I know Eric can have some fun with this. Camille, what is the name of the product? Because we like to have some fun with our naming.
We do. Sul Train.
Emphasis on the soul. So tell us, soul. I cannot wait to see the edits that Eric does with like the groovy music.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. So Sul Train. We're always trying to help farmers answer problems.
Solve a problem.
Right?
Right. Because it doesn't matter if it doesn't solve a problem for the farmer.
Absolutely.
It's just a product that's existing in inventory. This one solves a problem. And what is that?
So sulfur, it's not a new nutrient. So it's a secondary nutrient, but really it's one of the most important nutrients.
Yep.
And we've been talking about sulfur, my goodness, for over 10 years. So we had the Clean Air Act that happened, and we used to get sulfur from a lot of these factories. They would emit, and we'd get sulfur in rains. And now with the air being cleaned up, we're not getting what we used to get. And sulfur, so not only that, but sulfur is a very mobile nutrient in the soil. So it moves. So think about like boron, nitrate moves very readily through the soil profile. So sulfur does that as well. And so a lot of farmers to solve this problem, they're using problems like ATS.
Sure.
And nothing's wrong with ATS. You can get 28005 nitrogen where they blend it in for you. Good stuff. However, it has to go through 3 different processes before it goes to sulfate, which is the form that the plant takes in. So it has to go from tetrathionate to sulfite, then to sulfate. So that's probably more.
That's what I was going to say, but go ahead, Camille. You're stealing my insights today.
So
that's what I was going to say.
Based on the weather conditions, if it's cool out, if we have lack of biology in the soil, all these different factors, it can take 1 to 4 weeks to get into the usable form, sulfate. And so we can, during that entire process, we can lose the sulfur. It's mobile, even in all of those forms. So we can start to lose some of this. And then if you look at the uptake curve, Eric can put this in the video too, sulfur uptake really goes up in the middle of the season. So think like V8, V10 timeframe in corn. It's drastically uptaken because sulfur helps nitrogen be more efficient. There's a lot of roles. So it helps the nitrogen to turn into a protein for the plant. Very important. In soybeans, it helps with nodulation. So we talk a lot of times, and there's different ratios that people will talk about. Some people want a 10-to-1. I've heard a 5-to-1, a 7-to-1, 15-to-1. You have to kind of figure out what works well for you. But getting the nitrogen to sulfur ratio is really important. But we've noticed with all of our tissue sampling, Kirby, that sulfur is one of the main things that we talk about these ratios, all these different nutrients need to be at. When sulfur is limiting, it limits so many other things, including phosphorus, which we know high yield corn, you've got to be able to get phosphorus into the plant. So really important. This Sul Train, it's 100% readily available sulfate.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah. Say it one more time.
100% readily available. Sulfate. Okay. So it's in the correct form. So like a conversion, if you were using 2 gallons of ATS, you would only need to run a quart of this because it's readily available, and you're going to place it right where the plant needs it. And hopefully in season, you can do this. You can do this in the 2x2. You can do this, foliar, you can broadcast soil applied, Y drop. Anytime you're running nitrogen, I would like to see this there with it.
Yep. So this, as we think about efficiencies, increasing profitability, all of this working in tandem, this is why this product was a big deal because of the problems that it solves across the board, from fertility management to efficiencies on the farm. And so we're excited. Talk to your Mutiny dealer, talk to your Mutiny territory sales manager. As always, like we want people to know on social media, if you comment or send us a DM, as the kids like to say, we will get back with you. We see it, right? We see those, and we would
I respond to a lot of those.
Yeah. So we would love to come sit down and talk about how and where this product can solve a problem for you on your farm. So
yeah. And one more thing. So the low use rate, because again, like put my farmer hat on, it's always on, but like the low use rate makes it easier to store, easier to handle.
That's a good point.
And then a lot of times we don't even know what the ATS in our nitrogen is costing. It's usually not priced. It's just kind of thrown in there. So being a little bit more in control of how much you're getting in with your nitrogen, because you're dumping it in yourself, and the low use rate makes it pretty easy to use.
Those are really, really good points. I love it. Hey, I wanted to hear from you today too. So Sul Train, we're excited. It's a new product that we're bringing to you at Mutiny. There is another product that is not brand new, but we get questions all the time of how did it do? Tell me more. Just because when we sit down to meet with customers across the country, this is often one of the just core ways that we can partner with farmers to increase their efficiency, profitability, fertility across the board. And it's a product called Go Time. So Camille, can you spill the tea a little bit about what in the heck is Go Time? How does it work? What kind of results have we seen?
Sure. So we have a Go Time for corn. We have a Go Time for soybeans. And we also have a seed treatment version. But these products essentially, if you've been on social media for a number of years, you've seen these hopper treatment planter boxes. Okay.
Yep.
So it's a box, and it's essentially a graphite talc replacement. That's the base of it.
Correct.
So 80-20 graphite talc is in the box. But then you're also getting zinc. You're getting what is it, 1.5 quarts of zinc. It's a good amount. You're getting some micronutrients, but then you're also getting biologicals, which we know can help get more phosphorus into the plant, help with more uniform emergence. And the research, so my job is to dig into all the fun research. So I've worked with the company that we partner with these boxes on and looked through so much university data and have seen you can compare talking about the seed treatment version. I'm just talking in general about these planter boxes, but looking through the seed treatment option, the coverage that you get on the seed when you compare it to even a seed treatment, it's very, very uniform. So you're getting it on every seed. It's just easy too. Like I think
that's a big deal, the easy part. So talk about that. Like quite literally you press the easy button or
so there's little capsules on top, and the reason for those, we want to keep the biologicals separate, because when you introduce biologicals with not only each other but with talc especially, it can hinder their performance. So we introduce these right when we're ready to go to the field, and we pop them down, shake it up, dump it into the planter, and plant. And really, in my opinion, where this is the ideal product is for guys that they don't want liquid on the planter, they don't want to mess with it, but they still want to get some of these micronutrients, zinc being a huge deal. And I think that's really a lot of times what's moving the needle, the zinc. So I always like to test things, Kirby. I've talked about that before. My brother's like, what are we testing now? Because I just have all these trials everywhere. But I want to make sure something works on my farm before I go recommend it to other people, right? If it's, and I'm not saying that my farm is the end all be all, because there are different parts of the country where things work versus where they don't work. But if I see something perform and I touched it and I felt it and I walked the field, I have a lot more excitement about the product.
Sure.
So, and then, it's my reputation too. I don't want to recommend something if I haven't seen it. So
I love that about Camille being our national agronomy lead, the fact that she is so in touch literally at her own farm and many farms across the country, because you just have, when you have skin in the game of how a product, and to your point, like what you're not saying is that, if it doesn't or does perform my farm, that's the whole, like, no, but take a product like Go Time on beans, which I know you're going to talk about, that is a widely used product across the country, across soybean acres. And so it was just, I know we all learned a lot. So you can tell them what you saw. Hey, actually a question that we get a lot, even our sales team, because I think you did a video about the literal application, like how can you talk through that? Because that's sometimes a frequent question.
Sure. And there are different ways you can do this. So for the easiest way for us, I took the box, popped the capsules, shake it up, and then I dump it in the Pro Box.
Yep.
And if you don't have Pro Boxes, if you're planting with bags, you can do it a different way, and I can talk about that too.
Yeah.
But we dumped it in the Pro Box, then we dumped the Pro Box into the seed tender into the planter.
Gotcha.
It is super very coated at that point. So we did it that way. We also did, of course, we get in a hurry as farmers. So we're like, oh no, we've got to go to the field. And we would take the box and we just dump it straight in the planter.
Yep.
So you can do this numerous ways. If you have a box fill planter, there's a scoop. And so you can measure out the scoop and scoop it in just like you would do your 80-20. So I've filled up planters. I mean, my goodness, going back to when I could see into the boxes as a kid. And my job has always been, squirt the graphite talc in there. And so you can do the same way with this. And I like it because it's not super heavy. Like when I was in a previous role doing a lot of testing with some of these products, we had all kinds of trials. And some of these products are really cakey.
Yeah.
And they can clog up the bottom of the planter, and you can get issues with fluency.
Yep.
And you're not going to see that with this because it is a true 80-20. So we have a new box for this year, Kirby, which I think is, again,
so excited,
trying to help farmers succeed. Like, it's not fun talking about stuff this year. Like, everybody's feeling the commodity prices, the high input prices. And so we wanted to figure out a way where we could still have a good product at a more cost-effective option.
Yep.
And so we're launching a new version of this that is going to be more cost effective, where you still get the zinc, you still get your graphite talc. It's going to be really good. So we're excited about that. And you're still getting a biological component. So that's great. on my farm, so I'm going to pull up this picture. My dad and I, so we have 2 soybean planters. So I was in one planter, my dad was in the other. If you look at the screen, the top of the screen is where my dad's planter was, and the bottom of the screen where that triangle is, that is the planter that I had, and I had the go time. My dad, of course, was like,
I was going to say, the difference was not the driver, all right? I got your back, Tony. It was not the driver. It was the go time.
Yes. But I thought this was so cool, and a lot of times you don't see yield monitor stuff that looks this to the line, and so this was a big deal. We crossed paths right in the middle of the field. You can see our drain furrows.
Yeah,
we crossed paths right in the middle. So my dad overlaps with me, and then I had 2 passes above his planter. Yeah. You can see it to the line.
I remember when you sent that data to me. It was the most visual representation of what we see and hear over and over and over. So one thing that means a great deal to us is whenever our customers are the biggest fans or advocates for a product, and this is one of those that you hear over and over and over from our customers, is that this product works. We know it. We see it time and time again. Don't even think twice. But you want to think, what you were trying to do with your
every dollar
test.
matters.
Yeah, that's right.
You take a product that costs, several dollars across thousands of acres. Sure. That's a big deal. And so it makes you really scratch your head going into this year if you're looking at your budget and you're trying to figure out what can you cut, what should you keep. Mm-hmm. This is something for me, I've really seen good results. We have several large dealers that have been using this product for years, and they're not planting their soybeans without it just because they've seen the same thing.
That's right. That's right.
So talking really quickly about the seed treatment version. Yeah. So one of our interns last summer, we actually hired her full time.
Mally.
We'll give a shout
out
to
to you, Mal.
So her project, we gave them projects, and so I told her, in your downtime, when you're not tissue sampling, I want you to reach out to the growers. We had 10 to 12 growers across the country that tried this for us, and this was really cool to see. So the grower standard, they went out and they took stand counts. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we've got the grower standard, and then we've got the seed treatment, and then we've got the planted population. So they planted 117,000. The grower standard, which was just their 80-20, they had 92,928 plants per acre, which was 80% emergence from their planting population. Mm-hmm. And where they used the max D, they had 116,160, which was 99%. Mm. That's a big deal, especially this is a little bit on the lower side for planting population. So when we talk about getting, under 100,000, shade becomes the talking point. So when we can close the road and shade the soil, that's when we get ultimate weed control. And so going from 80 to 99%, that's a big deal. And then you talk about the seed, you're actually getting the seed up that you planted, so you're not losing that money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is something else to consider from an efficiency, profitability, overall piece for your farm. And again, we would love to sit down, have a conversation with you, or a phone call, or a Zoom meeting, or whatever that looks like. Our team, we're flexible.
I had a conversation, Kirby, with a company that I previously worked for, the seed industry, the head of their agronomy and products, and we talked about this product specifically, and I just said, I think this is the future. Mm-hmm. There's so much research. Farmers want more control. They want to be able to see that they are getting what they pay for. So, I'm getting the metalaxyl, and I'm getting the insecticide, and it's not just colorant, because there are some shady things that can go on in the industry as far as seed treatments go. And so I think we're going to see more and more of this, especially with the data that we've seen. But the ability to buy naked seed, which is cheaper, and then you're in control of your seed treatment. You put it on right when you go to the field, so everything's viable. It's a big deal, and I think it's going to continue to grow in popularity.
Yeah, for sure. And it'll be really exciting this year at Mutiny, because we'll be seeing adoption at different farms. We got to see the trials last year. I'm really excited for this spring. So we want to keep spilling the tea on all things, all the products. And if you guys ever have something in our lineup that you're like, hey, I would love if you all would cover, you can put this in the comments. You can reach out to our team. We want to know what y'all want to hear more about. So what products?
Yeah. Hey, I've got one more we can talk about.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a picture I'll have Eric put up on the screen. So we have a product we call Revival.
Oh, yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that one.
Again, I trialed this my husband, he's the spray guy on the farm. So this is a product, you can run this in furrow on soybeans. We really like it with the herbicide pass. And so the company that we partner with on this product, I heard them say this first, so I'm going to give them credit where credit's due, but this product helps to, when you pair it with the herbicide, overcome the herbicide hangover faster.
For sure.
Okay.
All of y'all farmers know exactly what she's talking about when she said that.
You do. So on the leaf surface, I'm very visual. I talk about this all the time. So the leaf surface.
Mutiny Mom Academy.
You got a phylosphere. You remember that word? And basically that's just the biology that's living on the leaf tissue, okay? When we spray a synthetic chemistry, whether it's a herbicide, a fungicide, an insecticide, we're harming that phylosphere, okay? It regens, but it takes time, okay? So we could go out and spray Liberty to Liberty tolerant crops. The crop is tolerant. However, the plant still has to metabolize the Liberty, the glufosinate, before it can get back to focusing on growing. So we can metabolize a little bit faster. We can overcome that a little bit faster. We see yield responses very consistently. So this is one I did multiple places on the farm. We would leave it out of the herbicide pass.
Oh, you can see it.
To the line.
Yeah,
you can see it to the line.
Visual. Yeah.
It is visual. So there are 2 PGPs. So those are called plant growth promoters. So think like PGR, but a natural version. 2 of those in there. We're getting a little bit of moly. We're getting a little bit of zinc. And we see just very, very good things, and it's cost effective. So you can add this with your herbicide on specialty crops. We tend to go row crops all the time just because that's my lane.
But a lot of y'all that are partnering with us are specialty crop guys, so I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, specialty crop guys, this product is huge. So you can put it in with the transplant water. You can run it through drip irrigation. You can spray it foliar. Most of our customers in the specialty market, they're running this weekly.
They are, because you have a shorter amount of time to influence the crop.
Correct.
And so it's super important to have a product like Revival. That one, to me, you all have heard us talk about Modify, which is what you use to get the pH of your water where it needs to be, right? I think Modify and Revival are just 2 absolutes in what it looks like to work with us at Mutiny. So if you're like, hey, I'm like looking across the board and your different products and what makes the most sense to me, I would say those 2 without a doubt should be a part of any farm's 2026 crop plan.
Yeah. And then one more thing. So how can guys work with us? We talk about that a lot, Kirby. So those 2 I think are a really big deal. Just because they're very consistent, they're cost effective and really good, almost insurance.
Yeah.
It's good. But we also have a program that we've been talking a lot about lately. And I think this goes into play because guys are thinking about how to make money in 2026. And so it's called Section 180 tax credit.
Yep.
And we have partnered with a company called Advanced Agrilytics. You've probably seen some of that on social media, but they are helping guys that have purchased farms 10 years ago or less to get tax credits based on the built up fertility in the soil. So they're not only looking at the macros, the NPK, they're looking at the micros. So
we should totally have Jeremiah on for the Mutiny Mom podcast.
We should.
He would be great Mutiny Mom to have on.
The average farmer is getting some pretty large credits per acre, and you can spread this out over 4, 5, 6 years to help, if you're thinking about how to cut things. Maybe we're not going to trade combines this year. We've depreciated some of our equipment, so we can't really write that off. This is another alternative to be able to write off something on the farm.
Yeah, and their system, I'll just say the process that creates the report is very, very well done. So we should have a further conversation because there's some really exciting things going on in the countryside that we partner with Advanced on to bring to farmers. So I love that. There are a lot of ways that we can partner together at your farm. And so reach out to us, get in touch with us. If we're not in touch with you and you send us a message, we will be back in touch, and we would love to come to your farm. So Oh, you look like you're about to. I saw like the light bulb, like at the din.
So you do this every time, but I want to go first this time. So,
Go ahead.
Kirby.
Yes.
What is one thing in the mom realm that is really helping you right now? It's a busy time of year. I argue this is meeting season. So I argue that meeting season is busier than harvest season. And I've experienced it both.
This is our harvest. This is our planting. Like the months of January, February, and March.
So tell me what you're doing as a mom to kind of get through, stay organized. What are you doing?
Oh gosh. Okay. For me, and this isn't anything new, but this has been a long standing, I'll tell you what, there's nothing like taking 10 minutes, 15 minutes the night before every single day. So I have a few things I do before I go to bed. And that is I literally have the next day written out on a piece of paper. I use my calendar. Ask Camille, ask our team. It's on the calendar.
Her calendar is next level.
It's Patrick one time saw my calendar because I have like it's color coded based on what calendar's like coming in, whether it's personal or work. He was like, I almost had a stroke. He was like just looking at it, I almost stroked out, Kirby. But I use a digital camera. It's great for communicating.
Digital calendar. You said camera.
I do use a digital calendar. I also use a digital camera. I still have my old school digital camera. Yeah. Calendar, yes. But so I write it out and I write down like appointments or anything that's like at a set time, right? Like 8:15, Camille and Kirby meeting you, everything we've scheduled today. And then below that, I have just general task. And I try to be discerning of like today we're going to be on the road all day. I don't need to have a ton of tasks, just things that you and I can accomplish when we're on the road together. And that's it. Everything else has been assigned to another day when I just have more time throughout the day to work on them. But it's like writing it out. I do that. I have it with my keys. And this is probably like extreme, but I even just everything that needs to be set out for my children the night before. We always have lunch boxes packed the night before. Water bottles are filled. My water's filled the night before. I already got my breakfast prepped the night before. Like as much as, and that sounds like a lot, but it's only about 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And if it's just staging, like I think about like the theater term, or even if you're selling at home, what do? You stage it so that you're set up for success. And even to the point, I'm like, what's the most amount of stuff that I can put in my vehicle the night before? So I don't have to think, I can go on autopilot. So especially during this time of year, like I think about, we're talking about work stuff, but as a mom, it's Valentine's week and everybody has Valentine's parties and we need to create Valentine's boxes and just like breaking that into bite-sized pieces, having things staged the night before, seeing where I'm like, hey, can I bring in the brownie bites and the whipped cream a few days before the Valentine's party? Because the day of the Valentine's party is a busy day. Like just having that laid out, and it just takes 10 to 15 minutes the night before every night. So that is like a must-have this time of year.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you? How are you surviving?
I do similar.
Okay.
Like yesterday, I had to leave the house at 5. So
yes.
I had to make sure everything was out.
You for sure had to. Yes.
My husband took care of it and the kids. So one thing I've done, and I'm sure you do this too, Kirby, but the kids have their chore list, and we both she turned me on to this app called Greenlight. So the kids have their chores, they can click off and it feels good to check something off. So every morning they have their tasks. So one of those being making their bed, cleaning up their room, putting clothes away. Each kid has a chore based on their age. So my youngest, he's in kindergarten. He has to empty the bathroom trash cans. And the middle child, she is in 2nd grade. She has to unload the dishwasher.
Yeah,
and then the oldest, he has to take the trash to the toter. Yeah. And so that is so helpful for me because I can focus on, I always try to make them breakfast when I'm home in the morning. So we do a lot of chocolate chip pancakes and they get the sprinkles.
Come to your house for breakfast.
It's really quick because I have my system down because we've done it so much.
System.
But if I am doing the pancakes, they're all doing their chores. And so we're getting all of the things done at the same time. And then luckily we don't live too far from the school. So then we run to the car and we jump in the car. But one other thing that I've incorporated this several years ago because as an ag professional, it never stops because farmers are not 8 to 5. They don't have weekends. They just farm. Okay. And so when they think of questions, they just call, and it could be 6 a.m. It could be 9 p.m. It could be Sunday morning. And it's not purposefully. It's just when they're thinking about something. And so one of the boundaries that I put in place several years ago, because I caught myself, actually my husband called me out on this. I would be having dinner with my family and my phone would ring and I'd get up and walk out of the room. And he's like, that's just, not great. So this, again, it's been 4 or 5 years, but I have it set on my phone. It goes on basically do not disturb. So I have a favorite.
It's automatic.
I love that. I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
So every day from 5:30 to 7:30, my phone goes on do not disturb. So if you're one of these people and you've called during that time and I don't answer, that's why. But those are the 2 hours that I spend with my family. So we pick up the kids, unless I'm out of town. Pick up the kids. They're in bed by 8 usually, but between 5:30 and 7:30, I try to stay off of my phone.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't even light up. It doesn't even tell me it's ringing. It's really nice. I do have like a favorites list on my parents and my husband, and Kirby is on the list.
I made the list.
And the TSMs, they're on there too. Patrick and Justin.
I just learned this today. Eric, cue the I need some kind of girl power music.
Yeah.
Boom. There we go.
Usually if y'all call me at 6 p.m., you need something.
Right.
And need it quick. So
Sure.
So those people will light my phone up. But other than that, those are my 2 hours. And I'm putting that boundary. I've put it in place. It's there. And that's really helped me.
Yeah. And you and I talk about this all the time. Our experience of being an ag our whole careers is that if you got that phone call at 6:30, like you said, they probably really do need something, and you're going to call them back in that hour anyways.
Absolutely.
It's the call back, it's the follow up, it's the doing what you say over and over. And so my experience has been is just most people, they're like, hey, as long as you do what you say you're going to do when you're going to do it by,
and I'll send text messages at 9-10 o'clock at night after the kids are in bed.
Sure.
But it's those 2 hours I try to focus on the kids.
I love it. That's
a good tip.
And like we always say on the whole mutiny message of we're still learning. We'll have something else next month where we're like, and I learned this and I learned this.
Yes.
But you have to savor the season of life that you're in. And I was talking to someone yesterday actually that my first job in Northern Indiana, someone that was very much a mentor to me. And this guy was telling me, he was like, just savor where you're at right now. I know you've got a lot on your plate.
It's hard.
I know you got a lot of responsibility at work. But now the kids are grown and getting married and jobs. And it is such a reminder in all of this, our most important whys. And again, 2 or 3 or 4 things can exist all at once. And we can love our jobs and have passion for what we do and want to see farms successful and profitable and be present with our families.
Well, I talk about this a lot with farmers. I am a farmer. My brother farms. I talk to farmers
the stress.
Across the country.
Yeah.
It will take your life if you let it. Farming will take your life, and you have to put it down. It's going to be there tomorrow. The work is still going to be there.
That's right.
You just have to put it down. You've got to focus on your spouse, your kids, their sports. It's okay to miss some stuff. We talk about you can't be there for everything. Dave Ramsey
that would be
says
insanity.
That a lot.
If you're like, I will never miss anything in my children. It's well, that's actually unhealthy for them.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's okay to get off the planner and go to your kid's baseball game every now and then. And so that's something that we try to, because it's a short season. In 10 years, my kids won't have games anymore. They're going to be in college doing their own thing. Yeah. It's crazy to think. But it's a short season and you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, I love it. I'm always remembering, most importantly, if you think about the Lord's Prayer, where it says, give us this day our daily bread. It doesn't say our 5 to 10 year bread. It doesn't say our 30-year trajectory, our quarterly. And it keeps me, I try to, the best of my, you know me, I'm a planner. I love to think about the future. I love to.
She's got the next 5 years planned.
Well, 7. No, I'm kidding. No, how foolish of me to think that I do whenever 'tis life, right?
For
that
sure.
happens. And I remind myself of that in all of everything we talked about is there's a very intentional reason that was give us this day our daily bread. Yes. And let's be very good stewards of what's right in front of us. And it's wise to plan and do all these things, but we have to hold both of those at the same time. So there you go. Thanks for listening to the Mutiny Mom podcast. We'll keep spilling the tea. We'll keep all the mom and updates. Thank y'all for following along.
Today, be where your feet are.
Love it.